Today we're going to be taking a look at the London Spitfires offense on Volskaya A versus the Seoul Dynasty in Stage 3, Week 5 of the Overwatch League. So Seoul just held first on a very impressive play from Fleta, get a nice couple early picks. And now London's second attack, you'll see Fleta gets wall hacks, pops them immediately, and forces London to retreat. We just take a look at the positioning. We'll do Seoul in the, golden yellow. We have Fleta here, cutting off this angle with Gambler. Guido's over here. The tanks are over here. And Munchkin is kind of here, but he's roaming. He's playing a very man-to-man coverage on Prophet. So he wants the other Tracer not to be able to flank around and kind of mess up with Seoul's defensive positioning. London, on the other hand, everyone is here. Again, Prophet's kind of poking and prodding around the side, but everyone's just here because they want to LOS Fleta. If we look at where he is, he covers up this entire back area, and then Guido is kind of here. And they also don't know, as soon as Fleta stops shooting, he has the opportunity to rotate from here back to over here, an angle that covers basically all of the point, this entire space. And when walls are up, it's very easy for Fleta to see where you are and then try and take a good angle. And London just wants to negate this by playing right here. You don't get any progress, but you're not opening yourself up to an early pick, and that's how they lost the first push. This does give London the opportunity to set up a really coordinated offense. So their entire team is getting ready to make a push, and it's coordinated right with the end of wall hacks. So we see all 6 of the London members are right there. You see the 2 tanks from Seoul kind of just chilling on the point. So London's playing this passively, but they're playing against wall hacks. They just don't want to engage when their opponent has the advantage. Seoul is also playing passively. They have this advantage. At the same time, they're not forced to engage, and when London is clumped up like that, there is no advantage in being the first team to dive. It just means that you don't have your cooldowns, and the other team does. So both teams kind of at a stalemate. London willing to wait this out, but what they do is they're very cognizant of when the wall hacks are going to end, and as soon as it does, they are going to spring into action. So we take a look at the setup here. Wall hacks are right about to end, and they all do this coordinated jump, which is awesome. So, boing! We have Winston and Diva. They're kind of protecting Bird Ring in the middle there. So Winston's going to drop his bubble, Diva's DMing, and Bird Ring's taking an angle onto Mega where the Seoul defense is set up. Mostly, I guess, Guido's there right now. But London doesn't know. Fleta stopped shooting, so he could be where he is right now. He could have rotated back. So Bird Ring takes an angle. You got Closer here, boosting Bedozin, who's charging up right click. Again, all 5 of them together are as soon as hacks go down, they're moving on to the point. And then Prophet makes a break that away. We'll go the top down. Prophet goes over here and tries to set up a flank on this low ground. Again, where Seoul's hiding out in Mega. And you can see it's within the same second that wall hacks go down. London, super coordinated, very aware of this. And now we'll notice that Fleta is still in the same position. So Fleta's here, and he's being pocketed by Gambler. Meanwhile, the rest, so you have 2 people over here. The tanks are here, Guido's here, and again, Munchkin's over here covering Prophet. So you have 4 people on the point, and 2 people that aren't. And that means that in this situation when London's taking this position, it's basically a 6-on-4 for them. They have the 6 people focused in this area, and, well, it's even slower in 0.25, but Gambler and Fleta are rotating back to Mega from the catwalk, and in the meantime, Ru Jae-hong gets picked. You'll also notice Zumba takes a lot of damage here. Barely gets out, and now Seoul's in kind of, well, I mean, they're at a disadvantage, and they have to figure out how are they going to get back into this. They do have some ultimates, and we'll notice that what they do is they opt to go for Pulse Bomb first. It is going to stick onto Fury. We play briefly. Boop. Fury gets very, very low, but he does not get demacked. He actually gets out. Closer pops Valk to kind of help him out. And I think it's to rotate back to where Fury is. Fury does a little loop-de-loop that way. Gets out, gets away from Munchkin. So the Pulse Bomb didn't get them a pick. Seoul Dynasty, what is their next move? Well, they want to res Ru Jae-hong, and they have a couple different options. You can res inside of a trance, just keep your Mercy alive. You can also set up a Diva Bomb to kind of occupy that space, force the enemy away from where the body is, and then you can get the res off. And Seoul, unfortunately, kind of does both, and they do it in a very odd sequence. So they trance here, and it heals up Zumba. So Zumba had a mech that was at like 100 HP. Now it's all full. And then they immediately toss Diva Bomb. So they don't really take advantage of the full health mech. If you're going to toss Diva Bomb anyways, then you could save the trance till afterwards. So a bit of missequencing or miscommunication there. I'm going to see now Prophet kind of throws a wrench in this entire res plan. He puts that Pulse Bomb out. Doesn't quite hit the stick. But what happens now is it's, again, occupying that space where Jae-hong's body is. So Gambler can't get the res. Guido is almost at the end of trance. You see him move forward and then immediately move backwards, scared of the Pulse Bomb. So now Gambler, Guido, and Zumba are kind of like right behind Prophet inside of Mini. So they're all right here. Fleta's rotated back. He's still over here. Jae-hong is dead. He's over there. So you have a very like isolated Fleta. You have 3 members of Seoul that are in a very awkward position. It's not a great place for the defense to hold. They have nowhere to retreat to. They're just kind of trapped. And if we back up a little, if Twitch cooperates, you'll note that while all this is happening, there's Gesture. He's making a jump to go after Fleta. So we have Seoul pushing out here to go for Jae-hong, and then London, Gesture goes up here, and he's looking to get on Fleta, because the rest of his team is rotating away from Fleta. Fleta's alone. Easy 1v1 for Winston. So he does that. We see again, there's Gesture looking for Fleta. He now is going to drop down. He's going to bubble himself to make sure self-destruct doesn't happen. And now we look at the positioning. Trance is over. Diva Bomb is over. Seoul wants to get back into a defensive position, preferably back in Mega, but they can't really do that. So Zumba's here, Guido's here, Gambler's over here. Now Fleta's in Mega, but now if any of these 3 members of Seoul on the point want to get back, they have to go through Gesture, and Fury is right around the corner. So London has now kind of not only are they coming from the same direction that their push started, they've also cut them off from getting back into Mega and forced Seoul to play on the point when they're men down. They've denied the res. So far, like, really clean play from London. You see Gesture goes, as soon as his jumps back, knows where Fleta is, makes the dive back here. He ends up committing ult. He's just, he's securing the point for his team. And Zumba and Gambler go back to help Flutta, but what that means is Guido's all alone. Guido's already used trance, he has no ability to fend for himself, and immediately gets deleted. And so now you have two opening picks, or yeah, the opening pick on Ru Jehong, the follow-up on Guido, Gestures over here, getting Flutta. That's 3 picks, no one in London has died, and the rest is just cleanup. So this is just a very, very well executed push from the London Spitfire that's kind of compounded with several mistakes from Seoul, and it ends up being a very decisive win on the side of London.